Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are back with 4 more cards. This should be, let's see, we did the ace, 2, 3, 4. So this should be 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. I don't even know how we did all this, but we are almost done. And if you want to see what the ring is looking like, this is the ring. I don't even think that is how much room I have left. I am hoping I can get them all on, but we did the Alice last time. So for those of you that weren't here, we did 4 Alice cards, and somebody contacted me, wanted to know if I would sell these. I won't sell these, but I am, if you are watching, I had 1 sheet of Stamperia paper left that had 4 tags on it, and that's what I used for this. I created an Alice in Wonderland journal last year for my niece. I'm still looking to see if I don't want to purchase the paper again, but I'm still looking, so don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I will come across another sheet of that paper. But today, if you remember, I said I was going to do something in the heart cards with hearts, and that's what I've done. And I am going to give you a little bit of a hint. I do have the surprise boxes left in my shop for the month of December. So what is going to happen is every month I've sold out. We're going on 6 months. I've got regulars every month that purchase one. So in order not to have a lot of inventory, I am only going to create 10 for January instead of the 20. 3 are already spoken for. So if you're a regular and you know that you want January's box, please get in touch with me, because I'm only, unless there's a huge demand, I'm only going to do 10. And your hint is, and I've never done this, but your hint, the theme for January is going to be hearts and flowers. And your hint is going to be that a card like this with a beaded heart is going to be in each one. So I'm giving you that hint just so that those of you that want to go ahead and purchase one and you're afraid because you don't know what's in it, they're all the same. The only thing that differs is sometimes maybe, a piece of paper might differ. But other than that, they all have the same items in them. And so with that being said, I am going to include a playing card. And I think what I'll do is I'll back it with paper so that it can be written on and not leave it like this, because then, it's only good like this. You can't really, it's not functional. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do a heart with a card. So this is one. We'll go through them like we do, so you'll understand the process. It's pretty much the same. The decor is just different. Aren't they so cute though? They're so cute. So I have the 8 here. And I went ahead and collage-paged a piece of white tissue on and crumpled it all up, and then collage-paged over that. So now we're going to texture paste, and I think for the texture paste I'm just going to take one of these that we used last time, and we are going to be working in blues because the heart is blue. And I have this, I'm pretty sure I got this at Michael's a long time ago, a script stencil, and we're pretty much going to cover the whole thing, but we are working. I know that there are some of you that are doing your cards with me, a full deck, and I hope you may not have hearts, you may not have wire, you may not have beads, and that's okay, because you can substitute it with a paper heart, with a metal heart. You don't have to have. Those were all wooden hearts that I painted. And there we go. So I've got script. Can you see that? I've got script, and so now you know I have to dry it. And the cool thing about making sure that it puffs up, and you have to be careful with that because you don't want to burn it. But the cool thing about script and the fact that it puffs up is that you get a really nice three-dimensional look. So I'll be right back. You can see, look at that, how it's just kind of puffed up. That's what we want. But when you go to do that, you have to be careful because you don't want to burn your texture paste. Now, what I did on the other ones is I looked at this and I thought, that's a lot of red. I know I want this card to be the blue tone, so I'm going to take a little bit of my gesso and I am just going to go over it where the color is, just with my finger, just to mute out. It won't do anything to your stencil. I just want to mute out some of that red. And then I will dry this because I just don't want all that red. I don't care if I can't see what card it is. So if that bothers you, then skip the gesso step and don't worry about that. And now this is dried. You can see, you can still see the script without any issue at all. It's actually pretty cool. So I had this blue heart. I found this, used to be this yucky kind of burgundy red color, and it had a hole in it, and we're not going to let that bother us either because that just kind of gives me a place to put my my wire through. So this is the color we're going to be playing around with today, is that blue. And we need paint, don't we? We have to have paint. So I am going to be using a light blue and a darker blue. And we're pretty much going to do what we've been doing. And I'm using Prima watercolors. And if you don't have watercolors, if you've never played with watercolors, just pick up a set of watercolors at the dollar store and just have some fun with them. If you got this on and you didn't like it, you could just really spritz it off if you catch it before it dries. And if you don't catch it before it dries and you're sitting there thinking, I really don't like that, just take your gesso or your paint. You can just paint right over it. We just want to get some color in here for a background. That's all we're after. So I'm going to dry this. I like the way that that looks, so I'm going to dry this. Okay, so now we're going for our darker, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put black on this or not. I think I used some black on all the others, but this is so dark that I'm not sure if it's going to need any black. It really is just a background. Of course, I don't have my mister with me, so we're not running much. Let's get some color on here. And I think I want just a little bit up in that. Just put a little bit more up here in this corner. Let's see if we can get it to run. It looks pretty good. And I do think I probably am going to get into the black. So let me dry this and I'll be right back. I don't want much because I don't want it to be really heavy looking, but I'm thinking maybe just a tiny bit. I can't even tell you why, but black just seems to accent. We go just a tiny bit of black. And you can see it's pretty well watered down. I don't want it to be really dark. And if you're afraid, if you're afraid of your black that you may get too much, if at this stage, if I were to take a paper towel, let's just go do it and blot this, like let's just blot this. You can see it removes a lot of it. So if you think it's too heavy, just blot it out and it won't be an issue. So I need to dry this. I'm going to distress around the edges, and then we are going to get out our decorations. And I did pull just a few things, and we'll see how it looks. I got into, you can tell from my other cards, I got into the Tim Holtz flowers, and I have to look at the card to make sure my writing is going in the right direction. I think one of those cards, it may be upside down, although I don't think you can even notice that. But okay, so what I pulled a couple options here. I really liked this sweet thing, and if you're wondering, these came out of this here. Of course it's upside down. It's Tim Holtz Florals. I'm pretty sure it's called Florals. Blooms. Layers. Yeah, Botanicals. Tim Holtz Botanicals. So I pulled this, and then, but I think it's too dark. It just really doesn't do anything at all for the flowers. And then I pulled this one, and I really, really like that. So I think we're going to use that. And I think I'm gonna pop it up. I also pulled this. Now this is a Prima product that was gifted to me a long time ago. So I can't tell you, it comes in a pack, but I can't, other than that, I really can't tell you much more. But I don't think it's something that I'm going to use because I think it's just way too big. Maybe not. Maybe it might look good there. I don't know. I'm keeping in mind that my eyelet is going to go up there. This can be off the card. It's totally fine. Then I've got my heart, and I have all the other three have netting, and I got this off of Amazon, and I literally just did a search for netting and went through the netting, and I think this is out of Russia. So yeah, it just adds a little something. I really like it. And I will be using this netting in the January boxes as well. So just so you know that. This could come off. See, I just think this is just way too much. This is too big, so we are not going to use that. Here where I got that, but there's a lot of lavenders. There's not many blues. I think that is too big. So let's just go ahead and let's do the heart. We know what we want, and I like it like that, so I can find a label later if I want a label. So let me put, I know I want the flower there, so let me put this netting down, and we're just going to take some Fabrifix, just kind of adhere that a little bit, and then I'm going to prop this up with, you know, give it some dimension with, yeah, you guys are laughing at me with my tape. Bought this tape years ago, and I don't use many pop-ups. And so I saw the tape the other day and I thought, oh my gosh, look at that. It's gonna be no good. Let's use it. Let's start popping things up. And so I decided, get it out. I don't trust it. It is pretty sticky, but I don't trust it, so I always like to add a little bit more glue. That's just me. Kind of how I'm rolling. So we are popping this up. And it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and I want it to be taller than that. So I am doubling up on the tape with 2 layers, just like that. I just glued them together, and we will glue this down. And I tried hot glue on this and it works, but I also think it melts the tape. So I don't get the height. So let's put this on here where we want it. Out there, make sure I'm not hanging off the back, and I am. You can see I am hanging off the back. Get it on the card, knowing that I'm gonna have an eyelet there. But the placement of that is good, and then our heart, I think, will go right there. So now comes the fun part. I have a piece of wire, and I think I got this at Joann's. I'm not positive, and I can't tell by the gauge. It's pretty thin jewelry wire, so hopefully you can see it is pretty thin. You just want to be able to bend it. And my seed beads, Hobby Lobby, $3.99 on sale, 40% off. Shouldn't have to get seed beads that are not on sale, because they go on sale all the time. And I'm in these quite often, picking out my favorites. So I know a lot of the clear ones are not in here. So I think just because there's a hole in here, I am going to stick my wire in that hole and bend it down. Now, if you have like this one here, didn't have a hole, this heart. So what I did is I just went with my wire over here and held it. And if you can't hold it or it's giving you issues, just put a little bit of tape. And then you're just going to string however many beads. I like to work in odds, so it'd be 3 or 5. That's just me. I'm a floral designer by trade, and so I work in odds. And let's see, where do I want to go with this? I think we're going to go, I don't think I'm going to be able to hide that hole, but I'm going to wrap around this heart, and I think I'm going to come the opposite direction like this. Now you can bead or not bead. You don't have to bead. You know me, and I like my beads, so, but you don't have to bead. You can just wrap with wire. It would be so pretty, just by itself. And then I'm gonna come up here, and then I think I'm gonna go up here. If you feel it's slipping or you're not happy with your design because you can't get your wire to go and stay, that's the nice thing about this jewelry wire. It's really pliable, but go ahead and stick a piece of tape in the back to help you hold your wire down. It's so simple. There's nothing difficult about this. But if you're starting to get frustrated with it, put a little bit of hot glue or a little piece of tape that will help you with your wire, especially if you're working with wire for the first time. Now, if you don't have wire and you want to do this, maybe thread. You could use a needle and thread, and you could wrap thread. You just won't get the dimension that you get with wire. Now, see how I have beads on this side and not on that side? I am going to go ahead and put 2 more beads on here for a total of 5. So I've got some beads that show up on the other side of this. Like that. See how that is? Then I'm going to wrap that and see how it wants to move. Maybe if I put it over that wire like that. And then I'm going to have to hold this because I want to come up this way now. I think like that. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. Don't be afraid of this, really. It's just wire and beads. It's easy and it's really cute. So let's see what we've got. 2 more because that corner doesn't have anything really to speak of. Come up like that, and I'm holding it pretty tight. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that looks really great. So what I'm going to do now is see where I've got this. Hopefully you can see that. See that piece where I started? I'm going to stick that under there like that so it kind of gets held in place. See what I did? And then I'm going to cut this off. And you could have a curly cue if you wanted with your wire. Wrap it around like a paintbrush and add some beads to it, but I think that's pretty cute. And now what I'm going to do is, let's see how this looks. I like that, so I am going to put hot glue on the back of this. I don't think that this would sit with anything other than hot glue. And it's also going to keep these wires where I have them. So see, I've got a pretty generous glob of hot glue there. So when you go on your card, be ready, because you're not going to be able to move it. So while that sets, let me see if I can find a some kind of a tag, some kind of lettering, something that we might add to this. It just looks like it needs a little something else. Check this out. Let's check out love. Well, I really like that. That's really, really pretty, and it doesn't cover up any of my flowers. But Lovely's really pretty too. What to do? Lovely. I'm gonna go with love. I'm going with love. And I am going to just put a little dab of hot glue on the back of this and put that on there. And then I will show you the other cards. And you will be able to tell exactly what we did. Oops, oops, oops. Let's get this where we want it. Let me unplug my hot glue gun. Okay, so that's what she looks like. Isn't that really, really pretty, guys? Really pretty. Look at that. Oh, a beautiful card. Look at that. So now that you saw what we did with this, you know the process. That is what I did with this one right here. I popped it up, popped the flowers up. The background, I used the pink, green, and I used a little bit of black, and then I painted a pink heart and just wrapped the wire around it. There's the netting, there's a little label. And then this red one here, I did the exact same thing. I used yellow and red, and there's my flower, my netting. I used the word love. Popped up a butterfly. Did not pop the flower up, but I popped the butterfly up, and there's a red heart, and then I put a little you and me sticker on there. So depending upon how many hearts I have, that will be what will be going in the gift boxes. I think I probably have more of those hearts than I do of these, but I've got to check. And then this, I did pop up these flowers, and I did pop up the butterfly. And I found these little, I think they're little plastic hearts. I think I may have a couple more of those, but they're hearts, and I thought, let's use it. And so I did the lavenders on this card, and then a Prima label there. So that's the hearts, guys. That is this set. And we've got, I think I've got 5 more cards, and that is it. Unbelievable. So message me if you know if you want a January surprise box. You can message me through Etsy, or you can shoot me an email. And I still have some Decembers in there. Oh, and I wanted to show you, we're coming along. They're all dried up, and they smell really, really good. So that is those. All right, have a really, really great Tuesday, and I will catch you in the next video, guys. Happy December 1st. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.